we've been in a relationship that didn't go our way or how we expected.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been there.
Yeah.
And I just remember being upset and being unhappy. So I started to talk with my mom, and she's just said that I needed to find my joy.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, finding your joy sounds easy, right?
Yeah.
Well, like, it's really not easy, especially if you don't know how to. And that's where I was.
Yeah.
So I opened my Bible to James chapter 1, verse 2, which says, "Dear brothers and sisters, when trials of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy." So there I was unhappy, and God's telling me that there's an opportunity for great joy.
Oh, wow.
Jesus.
And so I have 3 things that helped me find my joy, which are sit, stop, and start.
Wow.
God has been really teaching me to sit in the moment and talk to God, because God already knows how I'm feeling and what I'm going through, what I'm thinking, but He would love it if I would just talk to Him. So, and then just like sit in the presence of God.
Wow.
So going to Luke, in Luke chapter 10, verse 38 through 42, it says, "As Jesus and the disciples continued their way to Jerusalem, they came to a certain village where a woman named Martha welcomed Him into her home. Her sister Mary sat at the Lord's feet and listened to what He taught. But Martha was distracted by the big dinner she was preparing. She came to Jesus and said, 'Lord, doesn't it seem unfair to you that my sister just sits there while I do all the work? Tell her to come and help me.' But the Lord said to her, 'My dear Martha, you are worried and upset over these details. There is only one thing worth being concerned about, and Mary has discovered it, and it will not be taken away from her.'"
Wow.
So like a lot of times in our trials, we think that we have to fix everything, when really we just need to sit at the Lord's feet and listen to Him.
Wow.
Nice.
So
Nice.
good.
The second thing God has really been teaching me is to stop letting my thoughts and my worries drain me. Because when I compare myself and I complain and I worry and I stress myself out, I'm just draining all of the joy out of me.
Wow.
But in 2 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 5, it says, "Take every thought captive to obey Christ." So I need to lock away all of those thoughts and all those worries, and I need to replace them with healthy and encouraging thoughts.
Yeah.
So I need to stop listening to my voice, which brings me to my third thing, is to start listening to His voice, which is where I go to my Bible. And in James chapter 1, verse 22, it says, "But don't just listen to God's word, you must do what it says."
Wow.
So this is where I realized that if I wanted to find my joy, I had to be strong and courageous enough to do so.
Wow.
Yeah.
So like, notice how I said strong and courageous.
Yeah.
For months, the verse Joshua 1:9 has been showing up in my life. And it says, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous, and don't be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you wherever you go."
Wow.
And I didn't know why God was telling me to be strong and courageous. And I was scared at one point, because literally everywhere I went, this verse was there.
Yeah.
It was, I saw it like on a shirt, and a few days after it popped up on my Bible app. It was on an Instagram bio, and even like in my doctor's office, it was on his wall. And the most recent one was when I flipped the page to close this out, and in my notebook was right there. And it was Joshua 1:9 at the verse at the bottom. And so what I learned throughout all of this was that God was equipping me with what I need before I even knew that I needed it.
Yeah.
So good.
And so what it took for me to find my joy is to sit in the presence of God, stop listening to my voice, and to start listening to His voice.
Yeah.
And discovering how God talks to me is my joy.
Wow.
Oh, good.